So, good afternoon. I am Professor Olatunji Matthew Kolawole. I want to thank you for inviting me to make this presentation on the topic poliovirus surveillance in Nigeria, monitoring and responding to polio threats. Permit me to go through this outline. The first we're going to discuss is importance of surveillance, and then we move on to surveillance strategies, and then, of course, the impacts of and challenges due to poliovirus surveillance. Now, on the first slide that has to do with importance of surveillance, it is critical for us to know that early detection of poliovirus transmission is very, very important for us to eradicate the disease globally. And of course, monitoring of vaccination effectiveness. And then, of course, that takes us to the identification of high-risk areas for targeted interventions. There are several high-risk areas which needs targeted interventions. When I mean high-risk area, I'm talking about insecurity areas and areas that has to do with hard to reach communities. And of course, essentials for achieving and maintaining polio-free status. These are very important strategies or important points to note as we look into poliovirus surveillance globally. That takes me to the next slide that has to do with surveillance strategies. There are several strategies for poliovirus surveillance. The first one is acute flaccid paralysis surveillance, which has to do with reporting and investigation of cases. And of course, we also have the environmental surveillance. This is unique in itself because it bridges the gap between acute flaccid paralysis surveillance, such that cases that are not dictated with AFP are dictated through environmental surveillance, which has to do with monitoring of sewage samples for poliovirus presence. And of course, the last but not the least is called the virologic surveillance, which has to do with laboratory testing. Samples that are collected are sent to the laboratories and then they are tested and confirmed for poliovirus detection. I once again want to thank you for this privilege and the opportunity given unto me to present this topic, poliovirus surveillance and the strategies as we move towards, combating poliovirus disease globally. Thank you once again, and over.